All set? Cool.
Yeah.
How's it going, everyone? Matt from Hartke here, and I am here with Frank Bello from Anthrax. We are going to be scooping up some pie. We're going to be talking everything about bass, music business, rigs, tech, gear.
And blueberry pie.
And blueberry pie. How's it going today, Frank?
It's going good. You guys buy me tea, blueberry pie, black and white. I'm good.
We
Everything's
spared
good.
very little expense. All right. So, Frank, I've always wanted to ask you, where do you think, because I know that you talk with a lot of kids, with Little Kids Rock and a couple of different organizations, where's a good starting point when you want to learn about prog, metal, and hard rock?
Well, what I do, I always go back to where I was when I was younger, a long time ago. I look at the people on stage, whether it be Kiss, all the people I grew up with, Cheap Trick, all those great bands back in the day, and I say I wanted to do that, so I got a bass. It was a really cheap bass. And all you can do is just try to emulate what they do and just try to copy. They used to have these things called records, vinyl. I used to put it on.
That's brand new now.
And now it's coming back.
Yeah.
It's a brand new thing again. You'll see it's going to come around big time. So I just used to keep playing over and over. I used to play the same song over and over and just try to play like they did, even though I didn't know how to play. I didn't know how to play, but I would just try to copy like an A note, just try one note at a time. And if you really want to do it, the drive, because my drive it's still there. It's something you have to do. And I just think little by little, and I tell a lot of kids in my clinics, if you want it, go for it. There's nothing to stop you. Instead of the video games, look, I have an 11-year-old over there, my son, who plays video games. I would love to get him on a guitar, but right now it's not there yet. But I'm trying to turn kids and the younger generations onto music, and the only way to do that is you have to start somewhere. So just holding a guitar. My big thing in my clinics is to get a bass into their hands. If I could take my bass off and make them the best, you know what the best thing about my clinics is? When I take my bass off and put it on any kind of young student or person that has never done it before and see their face for the first time and they're freaked out, that for me is everything, because that's the beginning of it all. So if there's a beginning, it's all about just doing and not thinking. Just doing, and I think there's too much thinking out there. Just do.
Yeah, you know, when you're saying that, it almost makes me think that could be a danger now, right? We have all the music in the world available to you at once now.
It's intimidating.
Back in the day, you get your Anthrax album, and that's what you got. You got that for the next month, and you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of variety. There's a lot of choices out there. Look, let's face it. In this world that we're living in now, I've been doing this a while. Music, unfortunately, just isn't as important to mainstream people in society as it used to be. There's a lot of distractions out there. There's videos, and video games are huge now, which is great. I love video games too, but it's just not as important as it used to be. So to hone it in, it's got to be, something's got to attract the people to get to play an instrument. So I think that's really important. That's why I like doing clinics. That's why I like going in the front line of just telling people how it's easier than you think, and don't make it so complicated. It's really important.
When you're playing, when you're touring or recording with Anthrax, do you have any memorable guests that you play with besides the guys in your band that really come to mind?
I help the guys in my band, no. No, look, we've been very, very lucky. We've been around 34, 35 years at this point. For my heroes, look, we played with a lot of our heroes. We just played with Kiss, again, and there's nothing better than knowing these guys for so many years now. You have to understand, Gene and Paul know me from when I was a fan from 15 and 16 years old, meeting them in front of their management in Manhattan and driving them crazy for autographs. So to see them now, where Anthrax has been around for a while and we've toured with them a lot, have Gene Simmons come up and just singing, and we're taking a picture together. He goes, "Hey, I don't want to be antisocial," and he's pushing me like this, and you know, it's a great thing. So there was a lot of great moments we've had, like the guys in Cheap Trick, these bands that I really love, and to this day grew up with. And look, we're friends with the guys in Metallica. We grew up with them, all that stuff. Grow in this metal scene, the Megadeth, the Slayer. We've been really fortunate, the way I look at it. We work hard, but we've been really fortunate to do what we do. Look, I want to play with everybody. The one band we haven't played with, I'll give you a question. What's the one band I want to play with?
Captain and Tennille.
Oh, I've done that.
Oh, okay.
That's easy. And I used my Hartke gear, by the way. It was great. No, I've always wanted to play. Anthrax has never played a show with AC/DC.
Really?
Ever. And that's the one band, that's the one that got away. And we play with just about everybody, and we're very thankful for that. But man, there was one band that you really want to imagine opening for Anthrax, opening for AC/DC. That would be so cool. I want to see it. I'll just watch as a
Make your
fan.
head explode.
I would love that, man. And Axl, I would even do it with Axl, because Axl did a great job, I thought.
Yeah.
When I saw him with him. It
Oh,
was
absolutely,
awesome.
absolutely. You know, on that subject, I think that Anthrax recordings are really, really sonically diverse, especially when you're listening to like the way that the guitars are recorded. I mean, for me, from a production and recording engineer standpoint, listening to like Madhouse versus Monster in the end,
Yeah.
going from, I mean, Madhouse sounds like you recorded the guitars in a coffin, and then the wideness of,
Yeah.
you know, Monster in the end. So like, were you ever pressured by your record company to get more like in the box and just stick to an Anthrax sound, or did that ever happen?
You know, it's funny with that question, you get that a lot in your career. We've been around since the 80s, if you think about it, because there's always been a record company signs you, well, we want you to sound like this. And I have to say, maybe that's just maybe our upbringing for who we are as New Yorkers. We've always said, no, this is us, and we're not doing that, and either you like us or you don't. And we've never, ever bent for anybody. If you don't know who you are, you know, don't even try to listen to these corporate guys that are just out for money, really.
Yeah.
And now that look at the record business now.
Yeah,
look, and there you go. You can see what it's about now. So we've always been ourselves and never listened to anybody, because we are who we are.
Because from album to album, I mean, you can hear some like left turns, like really big
Absolutely.
stuff, and it's really cool.
I remember the day when even people bring up like don't try this. Even with we did some Beastie Boys stuff.
Oh yeah,
some stuff.
I'm the man.
Yeah, I'm the man. That's that.
Yeah.
I'm the man just came out of the three of us being big Beastie. The Beastie Boys were supposed to do that song actually.
Really?
They're the ones that were supposed to do that, but scheduling didn't work. So Charlie Scott and I just went in the studio and did it. For Public Enemy, when we did the Public Enemy thing, people were always worried. They all worried, are you going to mix this rap and metal? All of a sudden, rap metal became huge.
It's huge.
Right? So you never be afraid to try. Man, this is music for a reason. You got to just go out there and go for it. Don't listen to anybody. Anybody, just do your thing.
What contemporaries right now are you really into, or acts that you know you're touring with, that you know about?
Let me do a shameless plug right now. Oh, there's this band coming up that they've had a 3-song EP a couple of years back, called Altitudes and Attitude, by this, you know Dave Ellefson from Megadeth?
No.
Oh, well, he's a bass player.
Well, not personally.
He's good. He's a good friend of mine. Well, he plays for this band, Megadeth. We're
Okay.
good friends of mine.
Oh, I've heard
Yeah,
that.
so we do this project together. I'm being facetious about all this, but it's called Altitudes and Attitude, A&A for short, where we have a really good time writing just great, fun rock songs, melodic rock songs, some heavier, some not, just straight out of Dave and I. Jay Rustin producing it. We have a record coming out in 2018 that we're very excited about, and that we're going to be touring that for the first time. I sing and play. I play guitar and sing on that, and Dave plays bass, and we have Jeff Friedel on drums, and it's a really great thing. So it's a 4-piece. So
That's great.
So
So you're making the switch to guitar on that album?
Well, I do. I play guitar,
Okay.
rhythm stuff, and
Yeah.
we have a lead player, and it's just a lot of fun. But it's not metal; it's just rock. So I look forward to doing that. That will be my focus. Aside from touring with Anthrax next year, that will be my focus, and I'm looking forward to that. And we're going to be touring that.
What elements of knowing your instrument, what are the most important elements of that you think any up-and-coming bass player really needs to learn in order to be successful?
Here's what I think about the up-and-coming bass players, about what to, and I say this in my clinics. And not that you don't have to come in my clinics. Come if you want. They're free. I say this. There's a lot of people and players that are gurus, and there isn't even some clinicians out there that intimidate the young player out of playing, and almost intimidate him and scare him with all the damn. I almost cursed just now. Because I get crazy about this. All these crazy scales. They show everything they know that they've learned all these years in these first 2 minutes and scare the hell out of it. I look at these players in the audience. I can't do that. I can't do that. Is that what you want to do? Because you're scaring them out of playing. I want, in my clinics, and my thing is, my plight is in this world, is to get that young player to pick up a guitar or bass or any instrument for that matter, and just try their first note. So that is our next generation. That's because I was lucky enough to do that. I want to pass it forward. I want to pay it forward. And so when I see people overdoing it and trying to and feeding their own ego, I want to do the one A note and say A, and then go to the B and C. I want to do slowly. I want to make you feel it, and I want to get you to that next level. That's what it's about starting slow and building it, and so you feel confident with it. I don't want to overplay. Everybody knows scales. You want to use scales? Go to YouTube, right? You can learn any scale you want, right? But I'm not going to teach you that. I want you to just get comfortable. It's really about being comfortable.
I think that sometimes people don't have the right expectations when they're trying to make heavier music, whether it's metal or prog. And what are some of the tricks that you guys have come up with to really make sure that the harmonic content of what you're playing still gets across? I mean, it could get loud, it could get really loud, but I think that with Anthrax recordings, you can still hear what chord is going on. You can still hear the harmonic progression in the bass line. So do you guys is it your rig? Is it just careful planning?
Well, I like to say this. First off, if you don't have it inside of you, like the gut, that fire, that will make you get it sonically afterward, because it's all about starting here. Because if you don't have that fire to get that sound, you're not going to chase that sound, the right sound that's going to get out sonically. So you could separate the drums from the bass to the guitar. It really has to be separated. Because, I mean, in my band, I have Charlie Benetti, who's one of the best drummers in the world. Have the big bass drums that are always really full, and have Scott Ian playing guitar, rhythm guitar. So I'm surrounded by this wall of bigness.
Yeah.
So I have to cut through the middle, and bass should be the biggest thing normally in rock and roll.
Yeah.
But no, I have to cut through the middle, and with the tone, that has to cut right through those big bass drums and that big guitar sound. So I have to have a sound that has right in the middle, but not lose that low end. There's the trick.
Yeah.
There's the trick. So you really, sonically, that's every record. That's every record you have to do that. And we're lucky enough to have a great producer like Jay Rustin who makes it really easy. But that is the trick. But it's got to start here. You have to want to go that route. And you can't just phone it in. You can't phone anything in. Phoning in is bullshit. You can't do that. Sorry about the cursing. I'm not supposed to.
I noticed a lot of what you're saying on You Gotta Believe. You guys, that song, it's like a halftime feel.
Yeah.
But the gallop is unbelievably fast in between that halftime. So, you have Charlie just kind of giving you and your guitarist so much space to work in.
Yeah.
And you're playing, that's riffs that would normally you'd think of, most people would think of as guitar riffs, but on the bass.
Yeah, I like to stick and move. I call it stick and move with Anthrax. With this riffing, Scott's such a great, intricate player. We have Charlie doing this intricate drumming. He's intricate on top. I like to stick and move. I'll come in for a bit on the riff, and then I'll tail off into either a fatness, a fullness, or whole notes and maybe half notes, and then I'll just do like a tasty melody somewhere, like a bass fill where I've learned from Geezer Butler and Geddy Lee and Steve Harris, the stuff I grew up on. Well, it has to make sense and it'll add something to the song. But I never want to stay the same just following the riff all the time. I like to diversify. I think it's important.
We talked a little bit about some of the developments in the music business, and I think a lot of people have talked ad nauseum about the negative direction that a lot of part of it might be going. What do you think is the future of it, though? Give us a positive outlook.
I think people have to have music in their lives because it's a way of living. It's a way of just dealing with life. That's the good thing. The business of, and we love music. We all love music. I think the business is a joke because they still haven't figured it all out. But I think there is a day that will happen. I don't know when, but they haven't figured out where it could make money again. Because all the money now, let's face it, is in touring. It's in merchandise. If record sales aren't where it's at right now, unfortunately. You can do a certain amount of record sales, but let's face it, that's not, with illegal downloading, and I hate to even harp on this subject because it's so played out. It is what it is, it's out there. I mean, even our record got leaked when it first came out, and before it came out, which makes you sick because you break your ass for a year and a half to write as good as a record you can come out with, and all of a sudden some fool lets it go on the internet and it's out there before you even have a chance to come out, and that breaks your heart.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the true fans will always buy that record and support the band, because I'm a true fan of the bands I love, and I love music and I want to see it succeed. But I don't know when it'll happen, but it will figure itself out. And then you have streaming services. And I think that will come where they're paying the artists more because it's starting to happen. It'll come to the point where the artists are getting their fair share. It has to.
Yeah. It's interesting how it's kind of flip-flopped because, you remember buying the $10, $15 concert ticket, back in the day, and
Yeah.
the recording made more money, and now we're kind of flip-flopping.
But for me, I mean, maybe, and here is me going back to the days of vinyl. I still think, and even CDs, let's face it, I think people are missing the experience of buying a record. I think there's something very, we want to call it romantic, or just very, it's a home feeling. It's an emotion where you open the packaging. I remember Kiss, a live one, opening that up. I remember opening the record and then opening it up and putting it on the vinyl, and listening to it. You wanted the best. I looked at the pictures. I said, "Oh my God!" And it was an event in my room.
And it hit all the senses. You touching something, smelling something.
I was living that.
Yeah.
It was in my own little world, but I think because everything's just a button now. It's just a button. There's no experience, and I feel bad for the people of today that don't have that, or have never seen that, where that could really bring this whole new vibe to music. It really could, and if they could relive that a little bit.
Give us a rundown of your touring rig right now.
Pretty easy. I'm simple. I believe, if you guys don't know what I do, I play in this band, Anthrax, and I use the LH1000 and the 8x. Right now I have the 8x10s. We're going to slowly go to the high drive 4x10s. I think they're going to get me some, which I just checked out, just so you guys know, the 4x10s are awesome. So I'm not just saying that. I just before this thing that we're doing right now, I just was in a little room playing very loud.
Yeah, I thought I was in the next room and I could feel it, and I thought it was an earthquake.
Yeah, I was very proud of that. So they can handle it, to say the least. I wasn't sure about what to expect, but I was pleasantly surprised, and surprised enough where I said I gave it a go. Let's get them going for the tour. So we're going to put them on order. So I'm very excited to check them out on the road. So and it's just exactly what you expect. For me, my rig is as simple as possible. That's what I want. That's what I grew up on. I want to plug in and go out there and play, and that's what it should be. For me, I don't want a lot of buttons. Who wants to deal with buttons? Buttons are annoying. I want as few buttons as you can. Get your sound and go out there and play, and that's what the LH1000 does for me. And that's what Hartke. They listen. I bug them a lot. Sorry, Ira. I do bug them a lot. I definitely make my voice heard over there, and hopefully they listen to me about that next thing we're doing. I think the future is bright.
Awesome. What's your favorite new piece of tech? And it doesn't have to be, straight up something in your rig, but that's helping you on the road or just as a musician in general.
The iPhone. And I hate to say it, as stupid as that sounds, or just a phone recording to record a riff, to record a melody in your room. You know what I mean? It's so simple. I record most of it, even if I have a stupid thing and I'm sleeping, I wake up with an idea, I put it right on there for a song or whatever it is, and it's right there. So I think that accessibility has become, that's my thing. And just, then I can get a guitar and put that on. I can go right to GarageBand or whatever I want to do at that point, whatever app. I think that's really important. I think that's a great advancement towards songwriting and just the next level of music.
Awesome. So, Frank, what's going on in the fall for you guys?
Oh, can you just wait on that? Cause take one bite.
Pie. Pie's going on right now.
Pie's going on. No, Anthrax. We're actually off for the first time as we speak here in Long Island. This is the first time Anthrax has had 3 months off. I can't even remember that. I know it's been 2.5 to 3 years, but it's family time. We need a little family time to get back to our families and hang out and be married and have say hello to our kids for a little bit. And then we start in October, South America.
Okay.
I think it's 3 or 4 weeks, whatever it is. It'll be great. It's gonna be fun. And then from what I just heard yesterday, we're starting again in January with a tour that everybody's gonna be happy with. So some good touring coming up. And look, let's face it, this lifestyle is all about touring. That's what we do. So we're a busy band, and we're a blue-collar band that likes to work.
Well, we want to do a big shout-out to the Bayshore Bean for letting us film here and providing us with some delicious eats.
Who made this?
right? Hope
This
you
is
guys
good.
are seeing the pie slowly disappear
Oh,
as
yeah.
we go through.
I can't curse. Sorry about that.
Anything
keep
else?
that?
Anything else you want to get out there?
No, I just, look, players young and old, a step at a time. Don't make them over talk you. Don't make, no, not too many knobs. Plug in and play.